Hi guys, and welcome to the prediction show. So this game week is not really the kind of game week we're used to, not the 8 game Saturday, 2 game Sunday, or 7 game Saturday, 2 game Sunday, 1 game Monday or Friday kind of game week we're used to, because it's the first ever winter break in England, and the games are split. There are going to be 4 games this week and another 6 games the other week. So there are going to be 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday, and 1 game next Friday and another 5 game over that weekend. So you really need to check up on the kickoff times not to miss any game. If you're an FPL manager, you need to check up on the times so you beat the deadline. And luckily, I'm doing a preview every week and I'm telling you guys what the time of the kickoff and everything. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you check up all the other content that I have. I do fantasy Premier League shows, I do Arsenal previews for the Arsenal fans, I do Premier League previews, reviews, player ratings, so check all that out. So the first game is going to be Everton against Crystal Palace. Everton conceded 2 against Newcastle, conceded 2 against Watford. Yes, they didn't lose any of those games, but they do concede goals, and Crystal Palace doesn't really score goals, but from that Everton record recently, I'll expect them to score in this one. 2 of the last meetings have ended in a 0-0 draw, including early in the season at Selhurst Park. Schneiderlin got a red card in that one, and they've had 6 draws in the last 10 games, so a really tight matchup in this one. But in this one, I'm expecting Everton to win. They've gone 4 games without a loss in the Premier League, and I'm expecting them to make it 5. So I'm going to go for Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1. The next game is going to be Brighton against Watford. Their first meeting this season, the first game of the season for them. Brighton have just gotten a new manager, and Graham Potter, that is. And Watford, we didn't quite expect them to have a poor season, so that meeting was really a shock. Brighton went to Watford and won 3-0, and 4 of the last 5 games have seen more than 3 goals. 4 of those 10 games have been draws, and the previous games for both teams, Brighton drew with West Ham 3-3, which was a good comeback for them, and Watford 3-0 lead against Everton, a 10-man Everton team, and they ended up losing 3-2. And since Troy Deeney missed that penalty against Tottenham, they haven't won a game, and they also lost against Aston Villa at home. Brighton, on the other hand, too, have not won in 5 games, 6 games in total, including the FA Cup. They lost to Sheffield Wednesday. 3 losses in a row for Watford, including a Tranmere loss. So both of the teams are not really on the best of forms, but I'm expecting Brighton to change that in this one. I'm going to go for Brighton 2, Watford 1. Next game is going to be Sheffield against Bournemouth. Sheffield, the surprise package of the season, and Bournemouth 2, another surprise package for the season, because I didn't really expect Bournemouth to be struggling like this, especially struggling for goals. We always know Bournemouth for being a goal-scoring team. If they lose 5-3, 4-3, 5-3, like the last time they played Sheffield United at their place in, I think it was 2013 in League One. Sheffield beat them 5-3, and that was the one of the many wins that Sheffield has gotten against Bournemouth. Bournemouth have only beaten Sheffield once in their history, so that is a really crazy stat. Sheffield have won 5 of their 12 home games this season. Bournemouth 6 losses in 7 away from home. 1-1 in the previous meeting at the start of the season at Bournemouth's place. Billy Sharp got a late equalizer. So this one is just pointing out to be a Sheffield United win, and I'm going to go for that. Sheffield to win this one by 2-0. The next game, the last game for this weekend, is going to be Man City against West Ham. Another fixture that is totally on one team's side. Man City at the start of the season, they beat West Ham at London Stadium 5-0, and it could have easily been 8-0. That was the first game that we really saw what VAR is all about, and I think Sterling got denied like 2 goals or something. Could have had like 5 goals. He scored a hat-trick in that game. They've done 3 doubles in a row against West Ham the last 3 seasons. West Ham haven't won any game against Man City in the last 10 meetings. The last point came against Man City in the last game at Upton Park, so not really the best fixture for West Ham. And in this one, especially with West Ham's run, their next game is going to be Liverpool. They also have an away game at Arsenal. It's looking really, really bad for David Moyes and West Ham. In this one, I'm going to go for Man City 4, West Ham 0. To next week, the Friday night fixture between Wolves and Leicester. The last fixture at the start of the season ended in a 0-0 draw, but last season we had a crack at Molineux. It was a 4-3 win to Wolves. Wes Morgan equalized for Leicester in the 90th minute, but Jota went on to complete his hat-trick in the 95th minute to give them a 4-3 win. And I think that was the Claude Puel's last match, if I'm not wrong, if there's any Leicester fan watching this. And one clean sheet in the last 10 for Wolves. So this one just really looks like a very, very high scoring game. Leicester also score goals and concede a lot of goals recently. So I'm going to go for Wolves to win this by 3-2. The next game is going to be Southampton against Burnley. Two teams that have two strikers who are scoring goals. That is Danny Ings and Chris Wood. Burnley unlucky not to have Ashley Barnes. First meeting between these two teams at the start of the season was a 3-0 win to Burnley. And the last 4 meetings, 3 have ended in draws. So it's pointing out to be another draw, which I'm going to go for. Southampton 2, Burnley 2. The next game is going to be Norwich against Liverpool. I don't really even know if I'm supposed to predict this game, because I mean everyone knows how that game is going to end. It's just by how many goals. But I'm going to make it a bit tight, not really tight. I'm expecting Norwich at least to get a goal or two, maybe a consolation or something. And the first game they played this season, Liverpool trashed them 5-1. Norwich was actually the better team the first half in that game, funnily. And the last time Norwich won a home game was against Man City in September. And the last game they won in general was in the 23rd of November. That is 13 games ago. So not really looking good for Norwich. Liverpool, on the other hand, they've won 23 of the 20. Is it 24 wins or something? I've lost count. I've lost count totally, because they always win. They haven't lost any game. They've drawn only one game, and they are 55 points ahead of Norwich. I mean, Liverpool could go on a holiday for 2 years and let Norwich play about 40-50 games, and they will never reach that 73-point total, so which is crazy. So I'm gonna go for Liverpool to win this by 4-2. The next game is gonna be Aston Villa against Tottenham. Their first meeting of the season, Tottenham won this by 3-1. And the last game at Villa Park before Villa got relegated was a 2-0 win for Tottenham. I think Harry Kane scored in that one. It was a free kick or something like that, if I'm not wrong. The last 10 games against Tottenham, Aston Villa have only won once. So it's another game that is pointing out to be a Tottenham win. Tottenham too, though, have not been the best of forms, but recently they've beaten Southampton, they've beaten Man City. So this one looks like goals, and this will be my highest scoring game for the game week. So I'm going to go for Aston Villa 2 and Tottenham 5. Yep. The next game is going to be Arsenal against Newcastle. Of course, I'll have my full preview for this one, full lineup for this one on a separate video. So I'm just going to go through it a bit. Newcastle have only beaten Arsenal twice in the last 20 games, and that was in Wenger's last season, where they beat us at their place 2-1. And the only last time they beat us at Emirates was the Andy Carroll head. I think that was in 2010. So it's been a really good fixture for us. I also remember a 7-3 win against them. So in this one, I'm expecting us to win. Although Lacazette and Aubameyang have been missing so many chances, I'm going to go for Arsenal to win this one. We are going to concede, yes, so I'm going to go for Arsenal 3, Newcastle 1. The next game and the final game for the game week is going to be Chelsea against Manchester United. A big game for the top 4. If these teams end up drawing and Tottenham winning their game, is going to be a fantastic result for Tottenham, and I'm expecting both teams to draw in this one, because the last time they drew at Chelsea's place last season was a 2-2 draw. Man U, of course, beat Lampard in his first game 4-0, but Man U have not won at Chelsea since 2012. That was when Ferguson was manager. So I'm going to go for a draw in this one. Chelsea 2, Man U 2. So those are my previews. Let me know which games you're looking forward to most. Let me know your predictions too. Make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching. God bless.